both Hegel and Marx presented really an alternative to what we think of as history, and make it go toward a certain goal. The only thing here is about this approach is that when you make history go to a certain goal, it's like almost announcing or pre-announcing its end too. So this is where it meets the apocalyptic approach of history. Apocalyptic approach of history stops it. Between Marx and Hegel, they stop it too by making it reach a final kind of stage of happiness or something like that. So I think they were close, and they use it basically one way or another, a religious or somehow a religious approach to the sequence of events that are taking place down here in order to make something go toward a certain end. Now, we have here an issue that starts with Christianity. I personally think that Christianity is, at the beginning, was not a monotheism. The same for Judaism. The real monotheism was two attempts. The first one was Akhenaton, and the second one was Muhammad. That's a full monotheism with what it entitles, and we are talking about it right now. So, for Judaism, as I said, the God who was worshipped was not also the God who was the maker. We have really confusion between names. Who is running the show? El Shaddai, Elyon, Elohim, Adonai. I know people say these are different, these are attributes like with Islam, but these are also different names that he was called. So it's more than that. It's really the revelation. And what we could conclude from this is that both Judaism and Christianity at their beginning or at their inception tolerated somehow a form of monolatry. And as I explained this before, a monolatry is that you tolerate other gods. It's true, there is only one who's running the show, but you tolerate others. And Judaism was known to have Ashira, the consort of Jehovah, working with him for a long time. And Constantine, at the first time when he declared, or he didn't declare it officially himself, that Christianity is that state religion, he really, at the beginning, Constantine tolerated other groups. And they were even still allowed to build temples for other gods at the beginning. It was only by the end that Constantine made the decision to excommunicate whoever doesn't listen to him or follow his decision and commands and the canon, basically. But at the beginning, he was able and he was open to tolerate others. So this is what I can call monolatry, is that you tolerate other while you believe that you have the God. So the God of monolatry is not an exclusive God. Or actually, he is for monolatry, it's not an exclusive. Monotheism is really exclusive by excluding everybody else. And that's what happened with Constantine. At the beginning, he was really open to other, and then after that, he closed the door to other and started excommunicating. And we can see it even with the council, the first council of Nicaea, and also the first council of Constantinople. For Nicaea, I mean, we believe in one God, maker of all things visible and invisible. With the first council of Constantinople, we believe in one God, maker of heaven and earth, and of all things visible and invisible. So here, the monotheist God is moving from a stage of monolatry to a stage of a full monotheism, a God who makes everything, and we basically have the word that he made everything from nothing, and that is also important to know, uh, he, this God is really all powerful, and it's it's really the model of a monotheist God who makes everything, who rules everything, and who also makes heaven and hell, and we'll talk about that a little bit more later. So this is as far as these attempts were concerned. Let's remember here, Judaism didn't have a state. So they did not have a need for one central God. I mean, we do have the story of a full state. I really don't know historically whether it can be accounted for or explained or justified with historical kind of facts, but I don't believe so. I don't believe that there were ever a one state central with Judaism. And even if it was very small. It was really irrelevant to the rest of the region. So it wasn't really a full state like when we talk about Egypt or any other states. The first time the state became really clearly central and centralized was somehow the attempt of Constantine, and later on it developed more. And Constantine, yeah, definitely created his one state with one God who creates heaven and hell. And even Jesus, when he talked, he never talked about heaven and hell in the sense that we perceive it or expect it. It wasn't another world, an afterlife, because after all, Jesus was resurrected. He was ruling almost the kingdom of the dead, and that is the same almost as Osiris. Osiris died, was resurrected, and he was ruling another kingdom, the kingdom of the dead. So we cannot really talk about a full final death. And what I am trying to get to here is that monotheism, in order to function fully, needs to make a stop to this life and start from after that, talking about afterlife, and create a whole setup there with heaven and hell and all kind of creature working and functioning there. So the end is necessary for a functional monotheism. And here we move to Muhammad. Muhammad really worked one way or another to establish the first full monotheism. A God who is also the creator, who is worshipped on his own, and also this God also ran what we are familiar with as heaven and hell. And this God, as I said, has full power, and that's what is important. A full power means a state that is emerging, and it needs really a central government, it needs a central ruler, and that was really the God that Muhammad really launched with his monotheism. Now, my issue with the monotheism as perceived there is as follows. If you start a religion, if you are in a setting that is a polytheist or even monolatry, you don't need a full ideology. Usually old tribes or tribal wars did not need to relocate people from one place to another. Hence, a tribe can go attack another tribe, kill them, rape their women, do whatever they want, and then leave. They won't stay there. And there were never attempts to leave your own people in that newly acquired space. That was not the purpose. The purpose was looting, mostly. Now, if you go beyond looting, and if you want to spread an idea, you need to create a system, an ideology that can secure that those people who were newly colonized colonized or defeated, actually, can still follow you and do things that you want them to do. For this, you have two things. You need two things. You need, first of all, a God that you can export. You need a God that is not a form of totem related to your own ancestors. You need a God that is bigger than that. You need a God who created everything, everywhere. So you cannot go to a group of people and say, my God created only my tribe or land or my tent, if you want. No, that's not really the point. This God needs to have power over the whole world. Therefore, you can export him. Now, one more thing that is really important here. You are going to send your own people to this land and leave them there. What do you secure? What does secure your position there? You need to create a penitentiary system, not based down here, but based up there with heaven and hell. So for those people who do not listen to you, who do not pay taxes, you can really send them to hell or heaven, but hell is extremely important. And hell is definitely important because it sounds like a jail. It really sounds like a jail. So basically, you send your people there, you tell them to colonize and to stay there, that's it, that land is yours, but you know you have no way of securing that stable, steady source of income. You have your probably police or army or whatever it is, but it doesn't always work. However, if you convert those people to your religion, monotheist religion, you can also secure that they will be scared of the jail or the penitentiary system that you are going to create. And this penitentiary system is up there. I will give you an example here, which is quite interesting. This example is related to a Muslim when they are stoned or flogged or something like that. In fact, in Islam, if you take your punishment down here, you do not need to suffer it up there. So it's basically literally a replacement of a penitentiary system. So if you are stoned or get any kind of punishment down here, you're fine. When you go to heaven, the afterlife, there is nothing against you because you really paid your fees down here by being stoned or by suffering something down here. So really, hell is a replacement of a jail system. And if you cannot spread and distribute this jail system successfully all over the world, then you can create it up there. And for the first time, Muhammad did not send us to hell in the underground or under earth or something like that, or in a cave like Hades. No, it's up there. That's the place of heaven. So it's the same place where God is kind of ruling. And this God, remember, this is the monotheist God. He created everything, he rules everything, but also he will punish everybody every time he wants up there. It's a parallel world that we create, that monotheism creates, where he puts all of these things up there. I will continue this in a third video.